Hey everybody, what's happening? Michael Beretta, thank you so much for checking me out on this absolutely gorgeous, beautiful day. With regard to my experiences of being and studying psychology, but also being a psychology instructor and just really having a passion for philosophy and a true interest in observing and trying to understand, what this awesome gift is all about. When I have conversations with my students, and even when I talk to just people I know and friends, acquaintances, online and so on and so forth, the one thing that always kind of swirls around, and some people will call them excuses, some people call them circumstances, some people call them fear, whatever, but there seems to be this, obviously, a line that holds people back a lot of the time from being their true authentic self. And in no way do I want to imply that discovering who you are and then living that person out loud is super easy. But let's try to understand why, one, it's difficult, two, it might not feel so easy. When you think about it psychologically, there's this thing called the social situation. And the social situation is essentially any situation you find yourself in. What I always ask my students is, the way that you are acting, behaving right now, the way you're thinking and talking and behaving right now in my classroom, is that how you think and act and behave when you're with your friends, when you're with your family, when you're at your job? And I can ask this question to everybody, right? Think about how you are, right? Think about how you think, what you say, and how you act when you find yourself in just the diverse social situations you may find yourself in. Chances are, as we all do, we change, we adapt in some way, right? Now, again, I understand when you think about it from in terms of social norms, yes, there are times where you're going to have to maybe not just walk in a room and take over because you're at a funeral, right? So, kind of an extreme example, but what I want you to dig deeper, though, is if you look at life as the ultimate social situation, right? Do you find yourself forever adapting, changing, modifying your personality to suit the social situation and or to suit people within the social situation? Now, I understand that, like I said, with that kind of extreme example that I just gave before, that sometimes we have to do that. I get it. But in terms of just the globalness of life, do you ever find yourself just really being your true self? Really that person inside? Or do you always find yourself saying, I'm too afraid to do that because I might get laughed at. I can't do that because there's no way that that'll sit well with that person or in this particular environment. If you are walking through this life kind of like in a daze, kind of hypnotized of, I just have to fall in line, fall in place, and be like everything else I see around me, I think that's probably where you can start with regard to you're probably not really understanding, or you're probably not really exploring, or you're probably not really being your true self. And that's where those feelings of anxiousness or tension might come from. This is something that's been sitting with me, and like I said, I get to have these conversations a lot in class. But I just want you to understand, when you find yourself in any social situation that it might be, how are you being in it?